Imagine a dark room. In the center, a human brain floats, pulsing with unseen energy. One half glows with a soft, warm light, kinda like an old-fashioned light bulb. The other crackles with vibrant energy, almost like a miniature nuclear reactor humming with power. It's a strange, beautiful sight. This is the energy of thought, the power of the human mind made visible. But how much energy does this incredible organ actually use? It feels like our brains are working overtime when we're deep in thought, solving complex problems, or just, remembering where we left our keys. But is all that mental effort really using up a lot of power? Let's dive into the fascinating world of brain energy and find out. To truly grasp how the brain uses energy, we need to embark on a journey that takes us far beyond what the naked eye can see. Imagine shrinking down, not just to the size of an ant, but even smaller, so small that you can slip between the very cells that make up your brain. As we zoom in, layer by layer, we pass through the skin, the skull, and finally into the soft, mysterious tissue of the brain itself. Here, a whole new world opens up, a world that is both alien and familiar, dazzling in its complexity and beauty. Now imagine yourself navigating this microscopic universe. The landscape is unlike anything you've ever seen. A vast, intricate network of branching structures, each one glowing with a faint, pulsing light. These are neurons, the brain's fundamental units. There are billions of them, each one connected to thousands of others, forming a tangled web that stretches in every direction. As you move through this maze, you notice that the pathways between neurons are alive with activity, like highways filled with speeding cars, each carrying vital information from one place to another. These tiny cells are the building blocks of thought, memory, and consciousness. Every second, they are busy sending rapid-fire electrical impulses and chemical messages to each other. When a neuron fires, it sends a tiny jolt of electricity racing down its length, triggering the release of chemicals called neurotransmitters at the end. These chemicals leap across the gap to the next neuron, passing along the message. This process happens millions of times every second, creating a symphony of signals that underlies everything you think, feel, and do. To help visualize this, picture a bustling city at night. The streets are alive with movement and the buildings are lit up by millions of twinkling lights. Each light represents a neuron firing, each street a pathway for information. The city never sleeps. There's always activity, always energy flowing from one place to another. Just like a city relies on electricity to keep its lights on and its people moving, your brain relies on a constant supply of energy to keep its neurons firing and its networks connected. That's your brain, a living, breathing metropolis of sparkling neurons, alive with electrical activity. Every thought you have, every memory you recall, every sensation you experience is powered by this incredible network. The energy that fuels your brain is what makes you, you. And as we continue our journey, we'll discover just how much power this city of neurons needs, and the remarkable ways it manages its energy to keep you thinking, feeling, and alive. Surprisingly, for all its complexity, the human brain runs on just 20 watts of power. That's less than an energy-saving light bulb. It's barely enough to run a blender, let alone power a rocket ship to the moon. Yet this modest amount of energy fuels everything from our thoughts and emotions to our memories and movements. Here's a fun fact that might surprise you. Your brain, that 3-pound marvel sitting inside your skull, is an absolute energy hog. Despite its relatively small size, it's constantly buzzing with activity, processing thoughts, memories, emotions, and every sensation you experience. In fact, your brain uses up a whopping 20% of your body's total energy. That's right, 1/5 of all the calories you burn in a day are devoted to keeping your mind sharp, your senses alert, and your body functioning smoothly. But here's the kicker, your brain only makes up about 2% of your total body weight. Imagine that. Out of everything that makes you, well, you, your muscles, bones, organs, and everything in between, your brain is just a tiny fraction. Yet, it's the most demanding organ when it comes to energy. It's like having a tiny engine in a massive car that somehow burns through 1/5 of the fuel just to keep running. Now let's have a little fun with this idea. Imagine if you could somehow harness all the energy your brain uses and redirect it to power your home. Picture yourself sitting in your living room, wires attached to your head, trying to keep the lights on just by thinking really hard. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi comedy, doesn't it? You might be able to power a few gadgets for a moment or two, but don't expect to host a movie night or cook dinner using just your brain power. In reality, you'd be lucky to keep a single LED bulb flickering. That's because, while your brain is a voracious energy consumer compared to other organs, it's still not generating electricity in the way your home appliances need. The energy your brain uses is in the form of glucose and oxygen, fueling billions of tiny electrical signals that zip around your neural network every second. It's a different kind of power, one that's perfect for thoughts and dreams, but not so great for lighting up your living room. So if you're hoping to run your TV, refrigerator, or gaming console on brain power alone, you're out of luck. These appliances are energy hungry in their own right, drawing far more power than your brain could ever supply. Your TV needs a steady stream of electricity to keep those pixels glowing. Your fridge works around the clock to keep your food fresh. And your gaming console? Well, let's just say it's not going to run on daydreams and clever thoughts. Even your trusty toaster, that humble kitchen companion, uses more energy than your brain. When you press down the lever and watch those coils glow red hot, you're witnessing a surge of power that dwarfs the energy your brain consumes in the same amount of time. So while your brain is a true powerhouse in its own right, fueling your imagination, creativity, and every move you make, it's not quite ready to take over as your home's main energy source. But hey, it's still the most electrifying organ you've got. So, how does the brain do so much with so little energy? The answer lies in its incredibly efficient design. Unlike computers, which process information step by step, the brain operates through massive parallel processing. Millions of neurons fire simultaneously, communicating across vast networks. This allows the brain to perform complex tasks with, honestly, remarkable speed and minimal energy loss. Imagine zooming in on a single neuron. Electrical signals like tiny cars zip along its branches, carrying messages to other neurons. These signals travel across synapses, the junctions between neurons, creating a constant flow of information. It's like rush hour traffic on a network of superhighways, but instead of cars, it's thoughts and ideas speeding through your brain. Here's a surprising fact. Contrary to popular belief, thinking really hard doesn't actually use up significantly more energy than daydreaming. Your brain is always active, even when you're not consciously thinking about anything. And when it comes to sleep, well, your brain uses almost as much energy while you're catching Z's as it does when you're wide awake. When you think about the human brain, you might imagine a supercomputer, buzzing with activity, processing information at lightning speed. But what if I told you that all of this astonishing power is fueled by just 20 watts of energy? That's about the same as a small, dim light bulb glowing quietly in the corner of a dark room. It's almost unbelievable that something so seemingly modest could drive the most complex organ in the known universe. Yet, this is the reality of our brains, a marvel of nature's engineering, running on the energy equivalent of a nightlight. The true power of our brains doesn't come from brute force or raw energy, but from their remarkable efficiency and intricate design. Billions of neurons, each forming thousands of connections, work together in a symphony of electrical and chemical signals. These networks are constantly adapting, learning, and reorganizing themselves, allowing us to process vast amounts of information with minimal energy. It's a level of efficiency that even the most advanced computers can only dream of achieving. With just 20 watts, our brains power every thought we have, every memory we recall, and every decision we make. This tiny stream of energy is what fuels our ability to reason, to solve problems, and to imagine new possibilities. It's what allows us to experience the world in vivid detail, to feel emotions deeply, and to communicate complex ideas with one another. Every spark of inspiration, every flash of insight, is made possible by this small but mighty current. These 20 watts don't just keep us alive, they ignite our dreams and fuel our creativity. They are the source of our imagination, the wellspring from which art, music, and literature flow. When we dream at night, our brains weave together memories and emotions, crafting stories that can be as vivid and meaningful as anything we experience while awake. Our creativity, our ability to invent and innovate, all stem from this modest energy supply. With this energy, we learn new things every day, adapt to changing circumstances, and form deep emotional connections with others. Our brains allow us to love, to empathize, and to build relationships that enrich our lives. They help us remember the past, navigate the present, and plan for the future. Every lesson learned, every bond formed is powered by those same 20 watts. And with this remarkable efficiency, we are able to leave our mark on the world. Our ideas, our discoveries, and our acts of kindness ripple outward, shaping the lives of others and influencing the course of history. From the first cave paintings to the latest scientific breakthroughs, the energy of our minds has transformed the world in countless ways. It's truly humbling to realize that such a small amount of energy can power something as vast, intricate, and extraordinary as the human mind. The next time you see a dim light bulb glowing in the darkness, remember, inside your head 20 watts are illuminating a universe of thought, feeling, and possibility.